Good morning, students. Myself, Professor Lokesha. I'm going to explain the experiment called R2R ladder or R2R DSC, digital to analog converter, using op-amp. So basically, we study two types of DAC. One is weighted resistor type DAC, other one is R2R DAC. What is the drawback of weighted resistor type DAC? So as the number of bits are increasing, we have to use different weights for the resistors. That means different values of resistors we have to use. So those different values may not be available with the standard values. Therefore, it's very difficult to get the accurate analog outputs in case of weighted resistor type DAC. This problem could be overcome by using R2R DSC, in which we use only two resistors. One is R, other one is 2R. As the number of bits are increasing, even in this case, the number of resistors what we use in the circuit will be increasing. But the number of values, different values, we use only two, that is R and 2R. This is the most advantage of this R2R DSC. Hence, this R2R DSC is used in most of the applications where we need to convert the digital signal into its equivalent analog output. And now, let us see the aim of the experiment. It is that to conduct the experiment and verify the practical analog voltages with the theoretical analog voltages for the digital inputs 0 to 15. So it is a 4-bit R2R DAC. Therefore, number of input combinations, possible input combinations will be 16 from 0 to 15 equal to 16. And we can able to get the different analog voltages from 0 to 15 only. Now, actually, we have the analog output voltage equation where we can calculate the analog output voltage theoretically for different input combinations, which is in digital form. And we have to verify those theoretical values with the practical circuit. The circuit is there. We have to wire the circuit. We have to get the analog output voltages. And those practical analog output voltages should be compared with the theoretical analog voltage, which is calculated using the output equation that we will see in the next coming slides. Yeah, so this is the circuit diagram of R2R ladder which you have to wire. You can see here we have used only two resistors. One is R, other one is 2R. So you can see here R2R is R2R, R2R, and here see now this one. So it's called as R2R ladder. The resistors are connected in the form of a ladder, hence R2R ladder. And you could see here there are bits called D0, D1, D2, D3. These bits are called as input bits. Suppose if I want to configure 1000, 1000, as mentioned in the diagram, D3 is MSB. This I call it as MSB, and this is a D2, a D1, and this is D0. So D0 is what? LSB, whereas the D3 is what? MSB. So if I want to configure D3 as 1, I must connect D3 to V reference. Then D3 is referred as bit high. And remaining bits, that is D2, D1, D0, are configured as zeros according to our input. Therefore, D0 has to be connected to ground, D1 has to be connected to ground, D2 has to be connected to ground. Now, this is producing the input as 1, 0, 0, 0. For this input, what is the output obtained? Now, you can take this as one node, say node A, right? That node A is the one at which whatever the voltage comes, and that is connected with the non-inverting input terminal. Since op-amp is configured as voltage follower here, whatever the voltage comes to node A, same voltage will be appeared at the output of op-amp. Right. Suppose if the output is required in the form of amplification, then op-amp has to be configured either in the form of inverting mode or non-inverting mode. So accordingly, the output will be obtained. Yeah. Now in this case, we are not interested about the amplification of the output signal. Just we want the analog equivalent output for the applied digital input. Hence, op-amp is configured as voltage follower. Now, let us see what is the analog output voltage will be obtained for this case. Very simple. Yeah. Let us take one 0 0 0. So this is D3, D2, D1, D0. Now we should calculate what is the voltage coming here. How do we calculate? So since D3 is connected to ground, so D3 is 1 and D2 is connected to ground. Sorry. Here, what is see, D3 must be connected to V reference. D3 must be connected to V reference. Therefore, D3 is 1. D2 is connected to ground. Therefore, D2 is 0. D1 is connected to ground. Therefore, D1 is 0. D0 is connected to ground. D0 is 0. See now? So, D3 is 1. D2 is 0. D1 is 0. D0 is 0. Same input is configured here. Now, we should calculate the voltage appears at node A. At node A. So we should see what is the equivalent resistance obtained before the node A, or the circuit which is there left side node A. What is the equivalent resistance we get? And D3 is connected to V reference and it is connected to 2R. 2R in turn is connected to node A. Now it is easy. So now this 2R and 2R both are in parallel. So this equivalent resistance becomes R. This 2R and 2R parallel, that equivalent resistance becomes R. This R, this equivalent resistance R comes in series with this R. Therefore, R plus R, 2R. So that 2R and here this 2R comes in parallel. Again, 2R in parallel with 2R gives the equivalent resistance R. Now this R comes in series with second R. Therefore, the equivalent resistance becomes 2R. Right? This 2R and comes in parallel with this 2R. Therefore, equivalent resistance is again R. So this R comes in series with the third one R. Therefore, R plus R, 2R. Right? Now, before node A, the equivalent resistance obtained is 2R. Okay. Now this 2R. So here, if I write here, see, this is 2R and it is connected to ground here. Here node A is there. Now here 2R is there. So D3 is connected to V reference. And anyway, let us find out the voltage here. Now let us call the voltage is VA. Okay. The voltage at node A is VA. So you can see here, so these two are in series with respect to current flowing. Therefore, we can use voltage division rule. So what is the total voltage applied here? V reference. So V reference into. So with the voltage comes here, the voltage comes to node A is the voltage across 2R, because 2R which is connected to ground. Therefore, the 2R divided by 2R plus 2R. So now we get V reference into 2R divided by 4R. So here RR got cancelled. So 2 1s are 2 2s are. Therefore, what do you get now? VA equal to V reference by 2. So this is the voltage at node A is V reference by 2. So this is the voltage connected to non-inverting input terminal of op-amp, which is configured as voltage per hour. Therefore, what is V0 now? V0 is also equal to V reference by 2. So let us take V reference equal to, let us take V reference equal to 5 volts. Therefore, what is VA now? VA is equal to V naught because of voltage polar is equal to 5 by 2. V reference by 2. V reference is 5 by 2 equal to how much? 2.5 volts. So how much we are getting now? V naught equal to how much? 2.5 volts. 2.5 volts. Okay. So now what is the input we have taken now? We have taken 1000. That is equivalent to, decimal equivalent is 8. So how many combinations are there? 0 to 15. What is the mid value in this? Mid value is 8. Mid value is 8. So what is the reference value? Reference value you have taken is 5. So in this, what is the minimum value? Minimum is 0. What is the maximum value? Maximum value is 5. So what is the mid value between 0 and 5? That is 2.5, right? So now, if you consider the digital input combinations, so mid value we have taken as 8. If you consider the output V reference equal to 5 and 0 and 5, 0 is the minimum and 5 is the maximum. Mid value is 2.5. So input combination 0 is the minimum input and 1, 1, 1, 1. That is 15 is the maximum input. So between these two, the mid value which is input, the middle value in case of inputs is 8. So obviously 2.5. See now, for the middle input value 8, we are getting middle output value 2.5 between 0 and 5. So it is ensuring that the output what you have got is correct. So like this, R2R network, R2R circuit is converting the applied digital input into its equivalent analog output. So we could calculate the analog outputs for all the possible input combinations in the same way. This is the one example I have shown you, and same analysis can be applied for obtaining the analog equivalent for any digital input within the possible combinations. Yeah. Now, what is the equation, output equation we could write for this circuit to obtain the theoretical values for all the input combinations? So let us see now. Students, here I'm going to write the output equation. V naught equal to V reference by 16 into 8 D3 plus 4 D2 plus 2 D1 plus D naught. So this is the output equation where D3, D2, D1, D naught are the input bits, and V reference is the reference voltage which is applied as 5 volts, and 16 is the 2 to the power of n, the 2 to the power, that is equal to 16 combinations, right? Now we can substitute here 0. Suppose for digital input 1, all the bits will be 1, all the bits will be 0. So you can substitute 0, 0, 0. What do you get here? So V naught equal to, you get V naught equal to what? You get V naught equal to 0 volts. For example, now you go for the next input. So 0, 0, 0, 1. So now this is 0, this is 0, this is 0, this is 1. V naught equal to 1. Now this becomes 0, this becomes 0, third component becomes 0. So only D naught is 1. Now V reference into V reference is how much? For example, V naught equal to V reference is 5 by 16 and this is 1. This complete factor is 1 now for this case, right? So 5 by 16. 5 by 16 is the theoretical analog output. Like this, you could use this equation for all the possible input combinations to get the theoretical analog output. Yeah. See, here the equation is given, the same equation what I had written, same equation is written here. So you could use this equation for getting the analog outputs theoretically. Yeah. See, this is the tabular column. See the decimal equivalent 0 to 15, number of possible combinations because 4 bits inputs, therefore 2 to the power of 4 equal to 16, 0 to 0 to 15, 0 to 15. Okay. So now the 0, 0 in terms of digital inputs, the bits are configured like this. So finally 1, 1, 1, 1. And theoretical, these are the theoretical analog outputs obtained for different possible digital inputs. You can see now 0.0 for the digital input 1, 0.31 for digital input 1, right? And 0 for digital input 0, and 1 for 0.31 for digital input 1, 0.62 for digital input 2, 0.93 for digital input 3, 1.25 for digital input 4, 4.68 for digital input 15. So like this, all the analog outputs, theoretical analog outputs are obtained using the equation given. Okay, now, right? So now, after wiring the circuit, so we have to configure the digital inputs D0 to D3 as given here from 0 to 15, and we have to note down what is the practical output obtained for digital input 0, and for digital input 1, what is the practical analog output 3, 4, like this. You have to note down the practical voltages which you get after the conduction, and you have to compare these two, and the theoretical and practical values must be approximately same, right? So after verifying the analog outputs, you see now 4.68 is obtained for the maximum input. What is the maximum input? 15. For 15, what is the maximum output is obtained? 4.68. What is the V reference we are given? 5 volts. Obtained value is for 4.68. It's approximately 5 only, but practically some loss will be there. If you neglect that loss, so you can consider this as 5 or 4.6. What do you get? You can note on the same value. So the maximum value is obtained for the maximum input, and minimum value is obtained for minimum input. So in between, whatever the decimal the digital input is applied, accordingly the analog output is obtained, right? So now you can see here, what is the step size here? Step size is nothing but, so taking the difference of two consecutive outputs. See now, for example, I will take the digital input 1 and digital input 2. You take the difference of these two, 0.62 minus 0.31 is nothing but 0.31. Step size equal to point. The difference of two consecutive output values is nothing but step size, right? That is called the step size value, and that step size value will be keep on adding with the sequence of digital inputs. For 3, 0.3 will be added. For 4, 0.3 will be added. You could see here, see for 0, 0 is there. For 1, 0.31 is added. Therefore 0 plus 0.31, 0.31. For 0, 0, 1, 0, 0.62. Because for 1, 0.31 is there, you add 0.31 and 0.31 plus 0.3, 0.31, 0.62. 0.62 is the output for decimal input, digital input 2. For 3, so 0.62 plus 0.31. For 4, 0.92 plus 0.31. So like this, step size will be keep on adding for the sequential digital inputs. So this is how the step size can be understood, right? And what is the resolution? Resolution can be defined like this. The analog output is able to read the output. What we get is able to read for the minimum input, right? For the minimum input is 0. So you could able to read what is the analog output. So right, whether it is 0 or some number, whatever it is, but we are able to notice the output. If it is so, then we call it as resolution is good. Even when the resolution is bad, if some input is given, but output is unable to read, we cannot able to notice the output, what it is actually. Then it is it is said that resolution is poor in the DAC. So in case of Altor, you could see the tabular column and output tabular column. You could able to read the output values for the different possible inputs. Therefore, resolution for the DAC is Altor DAC is good. So, and next, if you see the waveform, after see once you note down the practical values, all the practical values you have to plot on the normal graph sheet. So x-axis will be digital inputs, y-axis will be analog output, and based on the inputs, corresponding output you just plot on the graph sheet and join all the points. So you'll get the waveform like this. So this is the analog output what we get after plotting all the output voltages with respect to the applied digital inputs on the normal graph sheet. See, the x-axis is digital inputs, the x-axis is digital inputs, and y-axis is y-axis is analog output V0, and for one say 0.31, for 2 0.62, for 3 0.9 something, like this. The steps is keep on adding with the sequential digital inputs. Therefore we have got the waveform like a staircase type waveform. See now it's a continuously variable signal, therefore it's called as an analog signal. See now you can calculate the number of steps also here. So, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Right? So, like 15 possible output values are there for why 15? Because 0 to 50, 16. So, including 0, 16, excluding 0, 15 steps we have got. And after 15, after all possible inputs, so output gets decreased to 0. So now 15 is the maximum input. Once the maximum input is applied, the output actually it has to start from 0 after 15. Therefore whatever output is maximum for the maximum input, once the 15 the input is input 15 is over, the whatever the maximum output we were getting, that would be decreasing to 0 immediately. So that's what after 15. So after 15 the output is decreased to 0, right? So this is the waveform for the R2R DAC. Thank you all.
Now I'm going to demonstrate the R2R ladder circuit. So the theory part is explained. So demonstration we will see. So this is the wired circuit for the R2R DAC. So you could see here op-amp is used as voltage follower here. So over the power supply, the op-amp power supply is also connected. Pin number 7 is connected to plus 12. And pin number 4 is connected to minus 12 volts. And this is the circuit of R2R ladder. You could see here, this is 2R, this is R, 2R, R, 2R, R, 2R, 2R. So same circuit is wired here. So now the bits D0 to D3 are connected accordingly in the circuit here. If you see in the circuit, this is this one is D3, this one is D2, this one is D1, this is D0, where D0 is LSB, D3 is MSB. Yeah. Now, what is the equation, output equation for the DAC? So that is V reference by 16 into 8D3 plus 4D2 plus 2D1 plus D0. So this is explained in the theory part. So using that equation, we could get the theoretical value, that is analog equivalent theoretical value for the given digital input. Yeah. Now let us verify the output for different combinations, or we can follow the sequential order from 0 to 15, and the equivalent analog voltages could be observed in the digital multimeter. So as you already seen the theoretical column in the tabular column, so whatever the practical values you get in the multimeter from the circuit which is wired, and you can compare that practical value and theoretical value, and you could come to the conclusion that so the R2R ladder which is verified practically. It is correct and following the performance as per the design. Yeah, now let's move on. Yeah, now let us verify the outputs for different possible digital inputs in a sequential order. First, I will give the digital input 1. You could see the toggle switches here. This first I'll explain the toggle switches. The importance of toggle switches in the circuit is that we apply the inputs from the toggle switches. These toggle switches are available in the digital trainer kit, right? So we have taken a digital trainer kit. The toggle switches are available. We have taken 4 toggle switches and connected to the bits D0 to D3 respectively. Therefore, I could easily apply either high signal or low signal using the toggle switches. That's why the inputs are applied from toggle switches. It is easy. Instead of connecting the wire to 1 or 0 or V reference or ground, it is easy to connect the input to the toggle switch. Therefore, you could operate the switch accordingly. If you want 1, you can make it high. If you want 0, you can make it low. That's the advantage of toggle switches. Yeah, now let us check the outputs now. Yeah, now see now the D naught, that is LSB, is made high. The remaining bits are made low, indicates the digital input 0001. Yeah, for which the what is the output we are getting? Theoretically, we had got some around 0.3 volts or 300 or 340 millivolts. 0.34 volts or 340 millivolts. Now practically how much we are getting, you could observe in the multimeter. That value is approximately 339 millivolts or 0.39 volts you are getting, right? That means practical value and theoretical value both are matching, right? Now we could go for next sequence, that is 0010. Now D2 is made high, the remaining bits are made low. Yeah, now it is 0.64. I have already explained the step size. What is step size? The difference between the two consecutive outputs, the difference between the two consecutive outputs. Now, what is the output we have got for the digital input 1.34 volts? Now, what is the output you are getting for the digital input to 2.64? What is the difference of these two? 0.64 minus 0.34 is approximately 0.34 or 0.32. Okay, that is the step size value. What it indicates, the step size value, if we keep on adding as the input is increasing one by one or sequentially, right? Therefore, now we have got 0.64 for the digital input 2. It is explained in theory part. Once again, I have repeated the same thing. Now, for digital input 3, what could be the output? 0.64 plus 0.32. That is step size value. It could be approximately 0.9, right? Now we'll see that value. What value we get for the digital input 3? So, 0.98 we are getting. Yes, the theoretical value is having exactly matching or approximately matching with the practical value. Now let us check for the 4, the digital input 4. So 0, 1, 0, 0 is given, for which the output obtained is 1.24. It is again matching with the theoretical value in the tabular column. Now the next one is 0, 1, 0, 1, 1.58. Like this, similarly, I could check for all the combinations up to 15. Yeah, now for 6, we are getting 1.89. For 7, we are getting 2.22. For 8, we are getting 2.42. For 9, we are getting 2.76. For now for 1010, we are getting 3.0. For 1011, 3.4. Yeah, for 1100, 3.6. For for 1100, 3.6. For now 1110, we're getting 4.29, that is 14. for 15, that is 1111, that is the maximum input which could give in this 4-bit DAC, for which we are getting 4.63. This is the maximum voltage, output voltage we are getting, because V reference is 5 volts. So what is the maximum voltage we are getting? 5 volts, approximately 5 volts. That is 4.63 for the maximum input, right? As you have observed in the output values, for digital input 1, you had got very less value because you applied only the one digital input 1. Therefore, output value should be very less. The which is converting to unlock value, that is very less, right? As the input value keep on increasing, the unlock value is also increasing. If the V reference equal to 5 volts, obviously you will get approximately 5 volts, or maximum value will be obtained for the maximum input. What is the maximum input? 15. So like this, the R2R performance is verified, right? So, and the resolution means the for minimum input, the output could be measured. The for minimum input, output be measured. Now, for example, the digital input 1 we had given, for which the output voltage was 0.34 volts, which could be measured easily. That is called resolution. That is called resolution. So like this, resolution is measured, and step size value is measured. And now the waveform, I already explained the theory part. So we get the staircase type of waveform. So how do we get? Now the practical values you have noted on the tabular column as given in the theory part. The tabular column is already shown. In that the theory part is there. Practical values you have, you can note down once you conduct the experiment, or you can now whatever the values I have shown now, practically those values you could tabulate there in the practical column. On all the practical values you plot on a graph sheet, and just join all the points, and you could see the waveform which will be in the form of staircase. That means it is increasing the unlock value for increasing the digital input, right? This is the staircase type of waveform, right? And the performance is verified, and it is appearing as per the expectation, and whatever the design we have done for the R2R ladder circuit for 4-bit. So accordingly, we have got the outputs. So with this, the performance could be accepted practically. Thank you all.